Hey, it's Coach 2K with Coach2K.com, and in this video, I wanted to talk about kind of the next step in learning the game after kind of taking a look at your roster, which I talked about in the last video in this series. And in this video, we're going to just talk about the controls and the controls that you probably need to focus on the most and how to learn them. Now, you can see here that I'm in freestyle practice mode, and this is kind of where you need to spend a little bit of time before you actually go out on the court and start playing. Um, Now they don't really put a manual out to tell you how to do the controls, but inside the game, if you pause and you go to options and you go over to controls, you're going to see these screens that list how to do everything. And so you got shooting, you got iso motion, you got passing, post play, post shots, defense, advanced offense, off ball defense, voice commands, and back to shooting. So a lot of people when they start the game, I think they gotta know how to do everything. But with just some basic stuff, you can learn to play well enough to beat the Hall of Fame. And so the first thing, obviously, you need to know how to move around. And you don't have to be an iso motion master in order to, do basic fundamentals. So the first thing is just being able to dribble around and just kind of get comfortable with the idea of getting your guy around the court. So, here with the left stick, forward and back. Now, I should mention here that I use the 2K cam for all of my views, and then I also use the absolute setting, and I think that makes the most sense for most people. I tried creative I tried the other camera relative for a while, and it just didn't seem right. Even sometimes absolute doesn't seem quite right, but that's what I use. And so you want to make sure you use that setting in a way that's most comfortable to you. So it's going to just take some trial and error. So the first thing is just moving around, and this is really all you need to be able to do as far as fundamentals go, is just getting the ball around. And you might need to protect the ball with the L2 to keep it away from the defense. But as far as the dribbling goes, going into the controls menu here, let's just go to the iso motion. You can see here there's all kinds of iso motion skills, and these are all great. And eventually you want to kind of go through and figure out, like here's the hesitation dribble, so you can see how that works. And you can start incorporating some of these other things in once you get the basics down. A lot of people don't have the basics down, and they really don't know what to do. So most important control on dribbling is just being able to move around and protecting the ball. So in freestyle practice mode, just kind of get used to doing that before you play games. Now, as far as shooting goes, if you go into the controls for shooting, you have jump shot and step back jumper, hop gather, all of these. The most important in the shooting are the jump shot and the normal layup. If you know how to do those two things and a pump fake, you're pretty much set as far as what you need to learn. And so to pump fake, you just hit the square. And to me, the best shot in basketball is the set shot with nobody guarding you. If you can get an open shot and shoot a set shot, I mean, that's the main skill that you need. You don't need to learn how to do a step back jumper to be successful, although at some point down the road you're going to want to try and do that. So when it comes to shooting, you want to be able to pump fake, and then you want to be able to shoot the set shot. And so, as we talked in the last video, it's about learning your guys' releases, and so getting those down and doing that in freestyle mode. So shooting and dribbling and passing, and really just passing, just hitting X and making sure the guy's covered, and really you need to kind of work on that in scrimmage mode. But all these other moves, once you're an advanced player, these things come into play a lot more for you. And we're not going to talk about defense yet, because defense, like I'm saying, we're going to start by working on offense first. So, and then other than that, I forgot to mention, just shooting a layup. This set shot and shooting layups and dunks. That's the basic controls. So learn those things in practice mode first, and then once you kind of get a handle on how to do those things, then it's time to start getting on the court and working on some basic offensive skills. And that's where I see a lot of people need a lot of work, because they don't have any offensive skills. So now I can tell you from my own experience, just with these moves that I talked about in this video, that I got to the point where I could beat the Hall of Fame CPU. I didn't have to become an ISO motion master. I didn't have to learn how to do step backs. I didn't have to learn to do all that stuff. And eventually with realism, you want to do that. You want to learn these things. But when you're first starting out, you just want to get the fundamentals down and start incorporating them in your game. So in the next video, we'll talk about how to start learning your offense and kind of what I see from people that I think people could probably do a little bit better. So I'm Coach 2K, and I will see you on the court.